Hi everyone, welcome to WinPoint online classes. In the previous session, we have discussed methods of asexual reproduction. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss asexual reproduction in plants. So, let's begin. So, the learning objective for this session will be asexual reproduction in plants, in which we will be studying about apomixis. So, let's start. Apomixis. It's an asexual reproduction in plants by egmospermy. Now, what is egmospermy? Egmospermy is the formation of embryo from an unfertilized ovule. Now, egmospermy is categorized into three categories. The first category is adventive polyembryony, and the second category is recurrent egmospermy, and the third category is non-recurrent egmospermy. So let's discuss one by one. Adventive polyembryony. Adventive polyembryony is that in which the embryo develops from the diploid cell of nucellus or integument. Example is in citrus plants, mango, opuntia, etc. So what is this nucellus? Nucellus is the central part of the ovule containing the embryo sac, whereas the integument are the protective covering made of diploid cells. In angiospermic ovule, there are two integuments, so it is known as bitegemic, whereas in gymnosperm ovule, there is only one integument, so it is called as unitegemic. So, nucellus is the central part of the ovule containing the embryo sac, whereas the integument are the protective covering which is made of diploid cell. So, and it's also clear that in angiospermic it is two integuments, whereas in gymnosperm it is a single integument. Now, if you talk about nucellus and integument, they both have diploid cells. So, they give rise to an embryo without fertilization. So, the fertilization process, what is fertilization? The male gamete and the female gamete fuse together to form zygote. This process is called fertilization, which happens in sexual reproduction. But in asexual reproduction, in this, there is no fertilization taking place directly from nucellus and or integument. Nucellus or integument, it gives rise to the diploid embryo. So, in such ovules, it contains many embryos. So, they are called polyembryony. So, the word is clear, adventive polyembryony, because it has more than one embryo in a single ovule. So, it is known as polyembryony. If you take any citrus fruit, just for an example, an orange, you squeeze the seed of the orange, you can see that inside it many embryos are there. So, therefore, it is polyembryony. You can see the structure of citrus ovule. Outer is integument, inside many cells are there, central mass, it is called nucellus, and nucellus give a rise to a nucellar embryo. That is what adventive polyembryony is. It's from a diploid cell. And you can see the inner mass in which the normal embryo is present, and along with that endosperm cells are there. This is the structure of citrus ovule. Now let us move on to the second type of egmospermy, that is recurrent egmospermy. Recurrent egmospermy is that in which the embryo is formed from the diploid megaspore mother cell, which is called MMC, which has a diploid egg, or we call as oospore. Example of it is apple, pear, etc. So, this diploid egg grows parthenogenetically into a diploid embryo. So, I repeat, recurrent egmospermy is that in which the embryo is formed from the diploid megaspore mother cell, and which forms a diploid egg, or we can say that oosphere. Let's move on to the third category, that is non-recurrent egmospermy. Non-recurrent egmospermy is where the embryo develops from the haploid unfertilized egg, and this is also known as parthenogenesis. That means without fertilization, the embryo is formed. Example, it takes place in Dhatura, Z maize, etc. In non-recurrent egmospermy, the megaspore mother cell meiotically means half number of chromosomes and divides into 4 daughter cells to form a haploid embryo sac, and these embryos formed from the haploid eggs or any other haploid cells are formed without fertilization, and resulting the plants which are non-recurrent ecmospermy are normally sterile. We have discussed 3 types of ecmospermy on the basis of apomixis. That is, first one was adventive polyembryony, second is recurrent ecmospermy, and the third one is non-recurrent ecmospermy. So, in the next session, we will be discussing about asexual reproduction in plants. We will be discussing vegetative propagation, which is of 2 kinds, natural and artificial, out of which we will be discussing natural vegetative propagation. Thanks for watching.